we all want some, somebody could all say we all want somebody who's 6'5" and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that the average income of a man in the United States is $57,000 a year. The average man in the United States is 5'9". And therefore, when women come to me, and again, these are high earning, high powered women. So I'm not going to suggest that they just, date somebody who's totally unequally yoked with them, right?
Right.
But I do suggest that they revisit what their absolute non-negotiables are. And I challenge them to consider what's actually important and how those qualities that they say are non-negotiable, how they will actually show up and impact a relationship, right? Is there a material difference in the relationship you will have between a man who is 6'3" and a man who is 5'9"? No,
I mean,
no.
he might not be able to reach the things at the top of the cabinet, y'all, but it's not that bad, y'all.
We have step stools, okay? we have step stools, right? Is there a material difference? There might be between somebody who is a millionaire and somebody who earns $57,000 a year. Of course there is.
There is.
So I'm not suggesting that you go way out of range when you're also not there, because fun fact, people date and match with people that are similar to them, similar income, similar education, similar background, similar race, similar faith, the whole nine. It's called assortative mating. So either way, if you're trying to go way out of range, you're going to have a hard time. I'm not saying it's impossible. Everybody could use a come up, but I like to live in reality, and that's what I advise. And so a lot of my clients, you might get a little bit mad, might get a little bit grumpy, but I do everything with love, because the goal is to come together and to have a partnership. And to be fair, because when I do meet clients, sometimes clients meet me or interact with me based on, my lifestyle or what have you. And so they'll say, well, your husband is this and that or whatever. That's true. But that being said, I myself was high earning, well educated, well traveled, et cetera, et cetera. So the facts still remain the same. Understand that. And then the last piece is the ignoring safety and consistency. So somewhat controversial. Vetting is important. And everyone will say, girl, you got to make sure you vet and do your background checks or this and this and that. And I find that clients, Lord, I don't want to be canceled, but let me find it. I find that clients who are physically intimate very quickly are less likely to walk away when the red flags appear. And being safe includes physical safety and emotional safety. And that means that maybe before taking that step in the relationship, you have a pretty good idea about if you're even in a relationship to begin with.
You do.
You have a pretty good idea of what this thing is that we're doing to begin with. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients who come to me for support in detangling from whatever their situation is. And a driving reason behind that is because this is the person who they're physically intimate with, who they share their whole life with, the whole nine. And it's like, all right, well, let's take a step back. And would we be in this position had you waited just a little bit longer? So that's what I find. That's what comes up pretty consistently, especially in a world where 40% of married couples have met online. I love online dating is great. My sister and my brother-in-law online years ago, back when it was still kind of, a little iffy, or at least that's what people thought.
A little risque.
Yeah. So I think it's important if you are meeting and you're doing the online dating thing to just keep those pieces in mind.